Hi, I'm Shanti Raghavan, co-founder and chief enabler of Enable India. Enable India works to impact livelihoods across 19 different disability types.
What are some misconceptions regarding people with disabilities when it comes to employment?
I'm going to answer this a little differently, right? I'll just tell you what we have seen with persons with disability. We have seen across all disabilities, every type of disability, persons working and supporting their family. So, for example, Dinesh, who is in a wheelchair from Sonbhadra district, UP, what does he do with his money? He has actually built a hand pump for his mother so that she does not need to go and bring water. He has actually made provisions for many people to come and stay in his house, relatives. He has brought a motorbike which can be used by the people in the village. This is what we are seeing. Then I go to somebody else, let us say, somebody who's like Pradeep. He is a person who is a foodie, a techie. Oh, by the way, he happens to be deaf-blind. That means he can't see, hear, or speak. He is the sole breadwinner for his family. And he supports his mother. Father is no more. And he also is the secretary for an association for deaf-blind. That means he is supporting, he's a nation builder, he's a change maker. He is helping other people in the country. From all our experiences, what we realize is the myth. For us, we realize that if you have breath, you have breath inside you, you have value. And so the misconception is, ye log kya karenge? What will these folks? So the only misconception is that value. Is there value in a person with disability? That is like saying, is there value in me or you? We know different people. If you take Jija, whom you're going to meet shortly, she is a mother, a very, very humorous and naughty person, and happens to be a person with cerebral palsy. So when you know these three things, you don't have a misconception about Jija. But if you only know, oh, she talks like this, she walks like this, then suddenly you think she can't do anything else.
What are some barriers that a person with a disability has to face in the employment sector?
The same problem that the person without disability faces, a person with disability faces. It's that barrier, thinking that one thing, that my disability does not define me, that becomes the main thing. What we have seen is the lack of expectation from a person with disability is the biggest barrier. And I'll tell it to you in a different way, ki when we do our training, we expect everything from a person with disability. Okay? So when they come, they actually have to do community service in society. Okay? So suddenly they have to go and be a volunteer and do something and help people. So there are people who have helped in so many ways. If I tell you the most amazing examples, forgetting that, okay, clothes collection, helped in a cancer hospital, have put up street lights. So there were some folks who said, wait a minute, there are no street lights. So and I'm thinking, wait a minute, we said community service, this became too much. They actually went to the BBMP office, they went multiple times with their disability, walking with their cane, doing all sorts of things, and put up street lights. So when I'm telling you the opposite, right? When the barrier is when you don't have expectation. But when the expectation is there, you go and put street lights up, ho kya raha hai? And that's the beauty about once you break that barrier.
At Enable India, what is the process and training you follow for job seekers?
The first thing is, I just have to see you. What do you bring to the table? What are your strengths? What do you like? What are the foundations you have already? For example, if you have a great support system, that's a great foundation. What are the solutions you already use as a person with disability? So once we know, so we follow appreciative inquiry, that whatever you focus on grows. So when I focus on your strength, your ability, your likes, your personality, and then build on top of that, then the matching for whatever you want to do or what you like to do will be easy. And obviously, we want to make sure that you get, as a person with disability, the choices. Hey, you're in a village, you have land. Most people have done self-employment. That could be something you choose, or you have more ambitions and maybe, you want a government job. Okay, that may suit you, but this private companies are also available. So you kind of give that range of choices. We call it Margadarshi. And we are giving enough data to the person with disability so that they are in command and in control. Ki, this is what I would like, because I know my circumstance better. So though we obviously enable the choices and give more, like, this may be more suitable, etc. But we want to enable the person with disability to choose. So that's how we approach, when a candidate approaches us, that's what we do.
Are there in-house trainings provided by NGOs?
There are many organizations, including Enable India. There are 2-3 types of trainings that happen. If you go to especially grassroots organizations which especially work with the disability part, like a special educator, they're more of the life skills. Sometimes the person has come without the full rehabilitation done, right? So that is one part. The second part is employability. That is the crucial thing. How do you actually work with targets? Perform, learn every day on a job. Your job is already changed. How do you work on the new thing? And advocate for yourself. Like, how do you actually ensure you get the solutions work effectively? So that is employability. And then there's the actual job. How do you actually have the skills to do the job? I'm going to give you an example because, skills, there's a very big word out there. Let's understand how in hospitality you have to clean the glass. Okay, because your fingerprints can be on the glass. So the role is you have to take a damask cloth, which is this big, there's a certain size. You put it around the stem of the glass and your fingers will not touch the glass. You will use this cloth and wipe it. So skills, the word is not understood. If I take something like full stack developer, it's a very different role. You need to know programming, how well you need to know it. So I'm just giving you this contrast, but I hope that makes sense.
How do employers initiate the process of hiring people with disabilities?
See, at Enable India and many other organizations, we have a standard process. We will collaborate with the company, do a forecast of the jobs that are available, because we can't suddenly just give a candidate, right? And we actually break down the jobs to see what are the tasks the person will do, what are the barriers, and therefore the solutions. So one of the main things that companies don't know is that any job can be done by a person with disability with the right workplace solution.
With sugar sachets, like tissue wrapping work, and we showed them how the sugar sachets had to be folded with the tissue, ensuring that the Coffee Day logo is visible.
1, 2.
When you see her today, you know that there's been a shift because her confidence has gone up tremendously.
I told them to monitor themselves, rather than we going and telling them, see, today you have done 50, tomorrow you should do 75. So probably that would have become an imposing factor. But then when I told them, you record on your own so that there is an acknowledgement for whatever they have done, they felt pretty happy about it, and they were happy, end of the day, end of the task, oh, I did 87 today, I did 90 today. Among them there was a little competition.
She's quite happy going there, and hopefully it might turn into employment. So more of internships will be a better employment opportunities for such children, I feel.
Where you are able to see past that difference of disability. So how we do it? It's very simple. We tell the company, if you may not be ready, you just have your employees meet persons with disability, just aamne samne, just, and you therefore don't meet a disabled person. You meet Anita, Shanta, Mukul. You're meeting an actual human being. You're having a conversation, and suddenly all those barriers disappear. So a lot of times it is the risk, feeling that how will my employees react? Will this person be able to deliver value? And even if that is the case, if the company doesn't become more and more includable, they will have a challenge. So that is where working on the competency of the company. Here you're telling candidate become employable. You need the company also to be equally includable. We have seen studies, and we did this with persons with autism. Same person working in with one manager did horribly. Same person, similar job, another manager, awesome, doing fantastic. So after the person joins, there are a different set of challenges. How do I tell the person and give them performance feedback? Yeah, you give the performance feedback, So when you don't give the feedback, hey, I think you need to improve in this. How does the person improve? Simple thing would be prepare employees. Second is any job can be done. So just it's about breaking that job, finding the barrier and the solutions. And the third is ensuring that the person can improve. And others also, right? The people, the buddy who's with the person, they also need to know how to include that person. So I think I'm just...
Work simulations during employability training at Enable India helped me perform at work. Constant feedback and practice made me better, stronger, faster. Today, I have built a house for my family of 14. I am the sole breadwinner. I am a team leader at Vindhya Infomedia. I manage a team of 30. I have no hands. I am the product of many includable people. They encouraged me to find solutions for daily activities. My teacher made me learn to write with my legs.
My name is Deepa. I work as a diversity lead for Asia Pacific Japan at a large MNC IT company. I cannot move any part of my body except one finger.
Could you give us examples of some workplace adaptations, reasonable accommodations for persons with disabilities?
So I'm thinking of Pratap, person with cerebral palsy. Hands are jerky and, speech impairment, etc. Great in finance. MCom, comes from a family, only mother is there, tailor, not an easy situation. But for him to actually work on the computer, big problem, because he's going to be slow. Now his brain is great. We want him to work well. So all we did was, we had an on-screen keyboard. That means in the actual keyboard, your hands are not typing. And a joystick. So with the joystick, when he's moving it, he's able to move it with the on-screen keyboard. But to move between different screens, he had a foot pedal because his foot was very good.
Pratap Ram, Finance Analyst, ANZ Bank, person with cerebral palsy.
Here are some of the solutions that I use at the workplace. To start with, the foot pedal. The reason why I use foot pedal is because it would be easier for me to use shortcut keys like Control C, Control V, Control Z, and F2, that is to edit. And I also use sticky keys, especially Alt-Tab, that is to switch between different applications, because we have lots of applications open. The joystick, it's an alternative to the mouse. So basically I'll be using joystick as a mouse, and one more will be your on-screen keyboard, which looks like this.
And that's how he was able to work very effectively. Today, in fact, he doesn't even need these solutions because his body has now got adapted, because he's worked for so many years. Now he's grown in his career, he's gone to another 2 companies after that, so now he doesn't require that solution. Other solutions are when you can't move any part of your body. We've used speech recognition in different formats. So just don't think it's a software, it's also how you configure the speech recognition software. So how does one person, okay, you're speaking to the computer, but you want your mouse to move to a particular location. Then we'll use something called mouse grid. So mouse grid, what does it do? It divides the screen. So the screen number here is 5. So you'll say go to 5. So therefore the mouse is moving there. It does exactly what your hand does, but your mouth is telling what to do. So you get efficient in doing this, then you get placed. So we don't place people till you get efficient in the solution. One of the ways we made persons who are blind work effectively in the job at State Bank of India is, in a rural area, we still use passbooks, by the way. Okay, so here's the passbook and the blind person has to see the account number. So we recommended to State Bank of India that if you can put a barcode, the blind person or non-blind person can just read the account number and it goes into the computer. On the computer, the blind person is listening to the account number through the screen reader software. Just with that, we could open up 30,000 jobs at State Bank of India, and the blind person can do the job on their own just because of something like this. Workplace solutions do not need to be about technology. Can I give you some very simple examples? So we've placed people in factories where you're making the foam that will sit in your BMW car. Okay, so they're doing some operations with that, and they need to remove something from a sticker. But I have only one hand. Oh, how do you do it? Very simple. Take a double-sided tape. That's what we did. We have kept it under the sticker. So one side of the double-sided sticker sit on the table. The other side is sticking to the sticker. That behaves like your one hand. Now with my one hand, I'm just removing the sticker. So this is giving the same behavior of the other hand. Where's the technology? How do we place deaf in companies like Shell? Doing a role facing a customer. They have to ask questions to the customer. So they have a wipeable communication board. It says petrol, diesel, what do you want? So the person just ticks. I want petrol, I want so much, cash, credit card. They just tick and the job is done. So many times the solutions are just these simple things or process changes. Do it in a different way.
I am Hasina. I am an acid attack survivor. I now work at Department of Defense. I am independent in my daily activities.
Persons with intellectual disability are gainfully employed in various sectors like retail, electronics, automobile, among others.